After an exciting March Madness led by Iowa's Caitlin Clark and LSU's Angel Reese, women's hoops has some momentum on its side, and the interest and viewership in the sport is on the rise. And the WNBA aims to keep that momentum on its side, and capitalize on new and interested viewers. Thanks to two teams in New York and Las Vegas, the league can do just that. While the NCAA season went on, the professional league had a crazy offseason, which by the end created two super teams. Between the Liberty and Aces, there is now a combined 4 MVPs and 11 All-Stars, which forms one of the most high-powered rivalries the WNBA has ever seen. With the preseason starting tomorrow, the league is about to be more exciting than it's ever been. The WNBA is entering a new era, a super team era. Now let's take a deeper look into the teams in New York and Vegas. Before we get into the WNBA's super team era, if you enjoy my content and watch a few videos of mine, think about subscribing. 96% of my viewers are actually not subscribed, so if you watch me before and enjoy the content, drop a sub and comment down below. It really helps the channel. The WNBA has entered its super team era. The 2023 offseason has seen league superstars flock to the coasts, particularly New York and Las Vegas, via blockbuster trades and free agency moves. Now, the Liberty and Aces are brimming with talent, like 2 WNBA MVPs and a full starting lineup of All-Stars each, and ushering in a cross-country rivalry for the ages. "We want to have a super team," New York Governor Clara Wu Tsai said in a press conference at the Barclays Center. "We want to create an incredible rivalry with the West." Let's start this discussion in New York. Though the franchise's transformation from perennial WNBA bottom dweller to super team was 4 years in the making, the Liberty's offseason was undoubtedly one for the record books. Before the league's free agency window even opened, New York had made a move that instantly upended the WNBA's power structure. In mid-January, 4-time League All-Star and 2021 MVP Jonquel Jones made her way to the Big Apple via a blockbuster 3-team trade between the Liberty, Connecticut Sun, and Dallas Wings. With the ball-handling skills and shooting range of a guard and the size, rebounding, and shot-blocking ability of a traditional big, the 6'6" superstar is the epitome of a complete package on the basketball court. With the trade for the Freeport, Bahamas native, which saw New York part ways with role players Rebecca Allen and Krista Dangerfield, as well as star Natasha Howard, the Liberty made themselves instant contenders for the 2023 title. But New York was just getting started. On day one of the free agency period, Breanna Stewart, arguably the most dominant women's player of her generation, announced her highly anticipated free agency decision to join the Liberty after 6 years with the Seattle Storm. "I want to be surrounded by greatness, and when you look at these people up here, and the many people that are a part of the Liberty organization, everybody wants to be better," Stewart said during her introductory press conference. And as it turns out, Courtney Vandersloot is on board too. The 4-time All-Star and 6-time WNBA assist leader, including 5 of the last 6 years, committed to joining the pair of MVPs in New York just 1 day after Stewart's announcement. In adding Jones, Stewart, Vandersloot, and later WNBA veteran Epiphany Prince to a roster that already boasted 2 young All-Stars in Betnijah Laney and Sabrina Ionescu, the Liberty put together a historically loaded roster for the 2023 season. With 2 former #1 draft picks, 2 of the last 4 WNBA MVPs, and 6 All-Stars in New York's arsenal, few teams have the firepower to keep up. Few, but not zero. Let's head out west, shall we? Just a year into his involvement in the league, Aces owner Mark Davis shelled out more than $1 million to lure Becky Hammon away from the NBA and coach his Las Vegas squad instead. After boasting a starting lineup featuring 3 2022 All-Stars, Aja Wilson, Kelsey Plum, and Jackie Young, during their run to last year's WNBA title, the already stacked Aces weren't expected to be a huge player during this year's free agency. Instead, Davis and his front office doubled down to make the biggest splash outside of New York City. 2-time WNBA MVP and 2-time league champion Candace Parker took to Instagram on January 28th to announce her intentions of signing with the Aces. In and of itself, Parker's surprise move to Las Vegas took the Aces from merely stacked to a full-blown juggernaut. But then, days after its newest star's announcement, Vegas welcomed two-time champion and all-WNBA defender Alysha Clark to bolster what was already an incredible fearsome roster. 2 multi-time MVPs, 5 All-Stars, and 4 #1 overall draft picks later, the Aces amassed enough pieces to contend with the new super team in the East. "I want to be one of the best offensive teams that women's basketball has ever seen," Coach Becky Hammon said during Parker's press conference. "I think we have a great opportunity to put a really exciting basketball team out on the court." For as long as the WNBA has existed, super teams have formed across the league. Take the now defunct Houston Comets, who won the WNBA's first 4 titles, behind the star-studded trio of Cynthia Cooper, Cheryl Swoops, and Tina Thompson. A little more than a decade later, a Minnesota Lynx roster stacked with league legends Simone Augustus, Lindsay Wallin, Maya Moore, Rebecca Brunson, and later Sylvia Fowles won 4 championships of its own over a 7-year span. Even last year, the Phoenix Mercury formed a super team of their own, as former league MVP Tina Charles and young all-star Diamond DeShields joined a core that featured superstars Diana Taurasi, Skylar Diggins-Smith, Brianna Turner, and Brittany Griner. Of course, Griner's wrongful detainment in Russia thwarted the Mercury's big plans for the season, but their stacked roster serves as proof that the WNBA super team concept wasn't invented in New York or Las Vegas. What is new is the role of player movement in the creation of said super teams. The players who formed Houston's juggernaut around the turn of the century, or the Lynx team that terrorized the league through the early 2010s, almost exclusively landed with those franchises through the draft or trades initiated by front offices. The Mercury represented a hybrid. Some players came via draft, others through trades, and one in free agency. The Aces are a similar story, though more of their key players, Parker, Clark, and Chelsea point guard Gray, pick Las Vegas as free agents. But New York leans even further in the opposite direction. The Liberty built their super team almost entirely through player-initiated moves. Laney joined the team in free agency in 2021, and then this offseason, Jones forced a trade to New York just weeks before free agents Stewart and Vandersloot picked the Liberty over a number of other potential suitors. As far as player movement, it's something that the league needs, and with the old CBA and the ability to core players multiple times, it didn't really happen much, Stewart said. And you're going to see it happening a lot more. And that means with just player movement, fan engagement is going to go from one team to another team. It's just going to make it more exciting, make things more spicy. For Stewart and many of her counterparts, that's putting the best product on the floor, increasing viewership, and ultimately scoring a more lucrative media rights deal. It's bettering players' travel accommodations, increasing health and wellness resources, and ensuring that the next generation is set up to have success and not have to worry about tedious things. And they're doing that. Creating rivalries, forming super teams that have tons of talent and intrigue, that makes the league fun to watch. It gains you fans, it puts people in the seats, and that's what the league needs. If they want players to be better set up financially, then they have to grow their fan base and their revenue as a result. And as we saw from the 9.9 million average viewers during the national championship game last month, it can happen. Exciting players, exciting teams make that happen. And the WNBA's new era is hoping to accomplish just that. Whether you hate super teams or love them, it's about to be quite the ride. Thanks for watching. I'm Herm. Have a good one.